Hello YouTube and welcome back to the latest ABC weekly show on the channel. We are here for week number 4 of the ABC Masquerain division, and once again, we're on our own because, you know, slacking is useless. Or he's just been busy, I don't know, but he's been busy, Nico was busy, and everyone else was pretty much busy. So I'm here by myself once again. If you guys can think of anyone who'd be up for be doing this with me, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try and get them on for week number 5 next week. Also, before we get into week 4 games, week 3, I had a comment in the last video from my boy Devil saying to do his week 3 game because when the week 3 video got uploaded, he actually did his week 3 game literally like as soon as it uploaded. So it's here. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's a good game. So we have Devil's game here: Victoria Victini's versus the Slowking Doctor and the Salisbury Slowkings, and the Devil has brought Sylveon, Staraptor, Feraligatr, Victini, his Victoria Victini's mascot, Pinsir, and Tyranitar. And the Slowking Doctor has brought Darkrai, Alolan Trio, Swirlix, Megalopony, Mew, and Klefki. Now, just judging by the matchup, Sylveon, barring, well, to be fair, it's kind of a mixed bag matchup, really, because Sylveon does well against everything barring the Dugtrio and the Klefki, to be quite honest. The Raptor, again, Klefki is going to be a huge problem. But if he can get rid of the Klefki with the Victini and stop him spamming hazards, because I don't think, what's his defog? What is Devil's defog? Staraptor? He hasn't got really a defog, so Sticky Web, Swirlix, and Stealth Rocks or Spikes. No, Spikes. Forget Spikes. So Prankster, Spikes, and Sticky Webs could be a major issue for Devil's team. So let's just jump in and see how this first match goes about. So he leads with a Tyranitar, as Slowking leads with the Swirlix to probably set up his goes with the Rain Dance. Now, I don't know why he went for Rain Dance. Why did the Swirlix go for Rain Dance turn 1? Like, what? I'm so confused. Why? What? I'm more confused by that play. Let's just get back into it. So he said that the Web's turn 2. What I would have done was that Web's turn 1, because what is the Rain actually doing apart from powering up his Feraligatr? So Devil just spams the Deep Dragon Dance as the Swirlix is coming for Endeavour. He's obviously Sash, so he just switches out into Staraptor, so you turn out. The Rain pretty much did absolutely nothing, so I'm even more confused by why the Rain Dance is there, but we'll go with it. So Klefki comes out as Sylveon gets a Wish Off. Out comes Victini, who probably going to... Yep, there's a Toxic on the Victini Toxic Timer. So what Klefki doing what Klefki does, just, you know, doing most. And Victini just blows back that Swirlix every day of a certain shot. Out comes a Darkrai to go for Dark Pulse. There's the Colbur Berry to eat it up as he goes for a Focus Blast. Darkrai lives on 5%. So I don't know if that was a roll or not, but it more likely would be. So putting another Dark Pulse down to Sylveon, saving his Victini for late game, especially for this Klefki, which is really needed. Wishing back up again. Foul Play does absolutely nothing to Sylveon because it has no attacks that and it's resisted. There's a Heal Bell coming through, so the Toxic stalling from the Klefki is put to pretty much bed and useless, to be honest. There's a defog from the Klefki, which doesn't come off because obviously Darkrai is a Dark type, and Prankster makes all Prankster moves immune. So he reveals the Tropical Berry on his Tyranitar, and which good counter for Lopunny there, making sure it lives on like no health, and then the Tyranitar is actually putting up lives right now. He's actually putting up lives. Out comes Pinsir versus the Mew. Mew turns out into his Klefki as Pinsir goes out to Mew as he goes for the Earthquake. Doesn't do a lot of damage, to be quite honest. Goes for Protect as Mew goes for a Soft Boiled. And at this stage, I think that Slowking Doctor only just realised that he doesn't have Mega Pinsir on his team. He only has normal Pinsir. So normal Pinsir is putting in the work, really, but it can't really touch this Klefki. Well, Earthquake, obviously, but Klefki's such a bulky boy, it can't really do anything. So out comes Sylveon, go to Foul Play again, which does absolutely nothing. To the Sylveon, there's a Toxic. So he throws the Hyper Voice, still does a chunk of damage to Klefki, because obviously it's mainly physical bulk rather than special. There's a default to give the rocks away so Darkrai can live another hit as he goes for the Heal Bell. And there's a Toxic again, just trying to will it down. So sacks off the Klefki to get a Toxic off. Out comes the Darkrai, I do believe, or the Mew. Out comes the Mew, soft wheels up, predicting him to give Heal Bell, which he does go for. And then Psyshock does nothing to Sylveon as he goes for the Hyper Voice, does solid 2-ko from this range. If he gets that was a low roll, picks up the Stealth Rocks, which I'm really confused why he went for Stealth Rocks at that turn. Why did he go for Stealth Rocks? Maybe just to whittle down his Victini, maybe? I don't know. Could Darkrai outspeed Victini anyway and just can get Dark Pulse and kill it? I don't know, understand the Stealth Rocks play, but this is just me being stupid probably. So this Sylveon just whittles down this Mew, and out comes Darkrai, can't really touch it. I know this thing gets Sludge Bomb, which it does go for. Gets a Poison, it lives anyway because Sylveon's a bulky boy. And Devil wins 6-0. I think that was, I don't know, was that his first win? Did he win week 1 and week 2? Did he win week 1 and week 2? Did he win week 1 and week 2? He lost week 1 and he lost week 2. Yeah, his first win. Okay. His first win's a 6-0. Good job by Devil there. Sylveon actually put in the most work, let's be honest. There were some questionable moves from Slowking Doctor, like Rain Dance Swirlix. What was that even for? I'm still confused to this day what this is. If you're watching this, please can you let me know? Because I am hella confused why Swirlix had Rain Dance on it. I am hella confused. But anyway, so we move on to our week 4 games where we actually can make some progress. And the first game we have is Gareth versus the Jakarta Rattaz. And Gareth has brought Milotic Yamask, because there's a Yamask there, Zygarde, Scrafty, Tapu Koko, and Mega Aggron, whereas the Jakarta Rattaz have brought Landorus Incarnate, Alola Ninetales, Alola Muck, Delmise, Mega Ampharos, and Volcanion. Now, Yamask, I'm confused. Why there's a Yamask here? Because he's got a Muck and a Delmise. We don't really appreciate it. I'm really excited to do what the Yamask is going to do. Again, Gareth has brought Bulk plus Zygarde and Tapu Koko, so it's going to be very interesting because all his physical threats from the Jakarta Rattaz, like the Ninetales, the Volcanion, the Ampharos and whatnot, are all going to get whittled down. And then by the time late game happens, they're all low health, and the other two can just sweep. That's been Gareth's plan throughout the entire season. But so yeah, let's jump in and there we go. So out comes Milotic. You turns out against the Milotic. Out into the yellow Ninetales. You can reveal the Ice Beam. Does not a lot to obviously Ninetales. So resisted. Goes Toxic as he goes for the Aurora Veil, which is pretty obvious on Alola Ninetales as to what the only thing Alola Ninetales really does. Out comes Mega Ampharos. He gets the burn of the Scald because it's Gareth, and Gareth is lucky McJim this season. As he Mega Evolves, Milotic goes to recover as he goes for the Cotton Guard. Now, interesting to say the least. He must be Cotton Guard predicting the Zygarde to come in, and he's got HP Ice or something. So he goes for the Thunderbolt. Milotic lives easily enough there. As the Milotic goes for recover again, there's the Thunderbolt again. No, it can keep living these. I don't think it can live the next one, so you click to recover. I actually think it does live. Yeah, it does live. It does 50% to Milotic. Milotic is mega fat. If a Mega Ampharos is only doing 50% to a Milotic, something's on. So Mega Ampharos goes down because Milotic is a fat mother trucker. So Gareth sacks off his Milotic versus Ninetales as he goes out into his Mega Aggron. As he's double switched out into his Volcanion. There's the Will-O-Wisp from the Volcanion as he goes for the Earthquake. Does 24%, which is absolutely ridiculous. That does absolutely nothing. So there's the Flamethrower. Does a solid 50% even with a filter. Out comes the Landorus Incarnate versus the Mega Aggron as he goes for Earth Power. Sacks off Mega Aggron. So he can get safe switch out into his Zygarde, who can just eat up any hit and go for the 1,000 arrows. Do 49% to this Landorus, knowing that next Earth Power will kill. Goes for the Extreme Speed to knock out the Landorus. Out comes the Delmise as he switches out into his Scrafty because it can pretty much wall this thing for days. There's the Rapid Spin to get the rocks away for the Ninetales late game. Out comes Muck predicting a knockoff, which does go for. Reveals the Assault Vest on the Muck as Scrafty starts to bulk up. Knock off back to knock off this leftovers. Gets the Poison Touch, so this Scrafty is now poisoned and on a timer. But it does have Drain Punch, so does a solid mount to Molly, the Ninetales. Goes to the knockoff to get the Aurora Veil back up for late game for the Muck and the Volcanion, I would imagine. Just try and sweep late game. There's the Blizzard. Does 27% to Scrafty because it's a bulky boy. sacks off the 9 turns for the Drain Punch. And I think next turn that Scrafty just goes down because Volcano outspeeds it. Out comes Tapu Koko, who'll definitely outspeed it. He Volt switches out. Lives because of the Aurora Veil. Pops the Argyle Berry out into Yamask, who does solid 61%, gets the burn with Steam Eruption. And I don't think Yamask is going to do anything this game apart from be sacked. I'm really looking forward to Yamask actually doing something, but clearly it doesn't. So out comes Tapu Koko, gets a Power Balances with Thunderbolt versus the Delmise. As he reveals a hidden power Ice, more likely goes for the knockoff. Knocks off the Tapu Koko Shuckleberry. Goes to Dazzling Gleam, knocks out the Delmise. Because of the Thunderbolt, there's the Poison Jab. Goodbye Tapu Koko, now it's just a Zygarde left, which should theoretically win the game from here. Gets there, kills that thing, out comes this, goes for the Z move, goes for the Z Tectonic Rage, just in case, just in case really, just to show off really, and kill the a load of muck. So yeah, Gareth wins a slim 1-0 victory from this game this week. Gareth is still yet undefeated this season, so Gareth must be a top tier player, obviously. If Slacken was here, we'd be bullying him right now, saying he's a hacks lord. But with great hacks becomes great responsibility, and you just have to respect the hacks because it just happens. There wasn't really that many this game anyway. Not really, that were game changing, to be quite honest. So if the luck has to run out at some point, surely. So if he's a bad player, the luck will run out and he won't make playoffs. So I have full support that Gareth is going to do well this season and hopefully pick up some more W's along the way. And yeah, I'd love to Gareth to get like finals and make Matt be in the video and just it'd be hilarious. Anyway, game number 2 of week 4, we have the Grizzly Growlers coached by Jack versus the Cherry Grove Cherums coached by Voss. And the Cherry Grove Cherums have brought Absol, Kieran Black, Delcatty, Miguel Barbara, Mega Venusaur, Tapu Fini, and Steelix. Whereas the Grizzly Growlers have brought Jirachi, Zeraora, Florges, Azelf, Mega Sharpedo, Baby Shark, and Cypher. So, as you can see, Mega Venusaur is going to be quite the issue. Well, not really, because you've got Azelf there, mainly for the Mega, and Jirachi to be quite honest with Mega Venusaur. Florges, it can be an issue for this team, but once the Steelix and the Mega Venusaur go down, it can actually just wall the rest, pretty much. Well, to be fair, Kieran Black, yeah, pretty much. Mega Sharpedo will get put the speed boost off, can put in some work as well. Cypher isn't... I want to say Cypher's not great in this matchup because he's got Stealth Rocks options on Steelix. Cypher takes 50% from Rocks, and that is not a bad matchup. So he needs to make sure that Florges has got defog on it to keep Cypher safe late game, especially because Cypher puts in a work against the likes of the Venusaur and the Absol. So let's jump to this game and see how it goes. So dealing into his Absol versus Jirachi. Jirachi goes an eye-head, gets an eye-head crit, turn 1 flinch, and that was a fantastic start. The Absol reveals the Sucker Punch to bring Jirachi down to 3%. Absol goes down. So there's the Stealth Rocks from the Steelix as Azaf reveals the Flamethrower. There's Heavy Slam out, comes Tapu Fini, picking another Flamethrower, which does go for. And obviously goes out to Florges because Tapu Fini can't really touch a Florges, to be quite honest. Gets a special tech drop. And he taunts the Florges, so it can't really go Wish or anything like that. So he does reveal the defog on the Florges to try and get the rocks away for Cypher. So he just has to wait out the taunt turns and hopefully be able to get the defog off before Florges goes down. Because defog, yeah, there's a taunt again. He tries to go for defog again because out comes the Venusaur onto the Moonblast. He's probably going to Mega Evolve as he goes out into his Cypher. Takes 50% from rocks, which is very unfortunate because it's really going to be coming very clutch. So Cypher roosts up so he can, next time he switches to, so Cypher's setting up right now. Cypher is setting up just before the taunt, goes for the Aerolase. Tapu Fini lives on 8%, pops the Wiki Berry. Gets a crit Moonblast, which is very unfortunate. There's the Aerolase, lives on 9%. Cypher lives on 8%, there's the Aerolase. Cypher takes out the Tapu Fini. Taunt is ended. Out comes the Steelix as it goes for the Roost, as it goes for the Roar. Okay, so Jirachi gets knocked out, but Cypher lives another day. Out comes Azelf versus the Delcat. He goes for Flamethrower, does a solid 50% to this thing. Out comes Cypher as the Delcat tries to go for a Sucker Punch. Pops the Delcat's Figgy Berry as it goes for Baton Pass out into Steelix. Now, I don't understand why he went for Battle Pass that turn. Maybe just, like, you know, see, to get a switch, but try and, if he switches out, to work out what to switch it out into. So, Cypher goes for Roost, back up to full health, so next time he comes back in, Rocks he's still healthy again for Rocks. Out comes Delkay, bringing the Flamethrower, does slight amount of damage. Out comes Cypher again as he goes for the Sucker Punch. Goes for the Swords Dance, thinking to go for Sucker Punch again. Out comes the Steelix. Cypher goes for Roost as Steelix goes for Roar again. So we're getting a loop right now, and Azel's just slowly getting chipped down. Goes to Flamethrower off, because next time he can't really switch in and get the rocks away. So he sacks off the Azel. Out comes their Aura. And to Mega Venusaur as he Volt switches out. Right into the Floor Jez. It's a very... Why do you get the Floor Jez against the Venusaur? Gets the Defog off to get the rocks away. Lives the Sludge Bomb doing 50%. Reveals a Psychic just to sack off this Floor Jez versus the Mega Venusaur. Out comes the Cypher as he goes for Swords Dance again to try and sleep late game with his Cypher. Goes for the Analyse. Doesn't do a lot of damage. Just goes for Roar again to bring out the Zero Aura. Out comes Delkay to take that close combat, sack off the Delkay. Out comes Mega Venusaur. Volt switches out, I'm guessing into Cypher again. Yep. As Venusaur goes for the Synthesis. Out comes Steelix. There's the Swords Dance. And Roar is going to happen again. Oh, not all Stealth Rocks. Okay. There's the Aerolace as he goes for Roar, just so next time Cypher comes in, it's going to die to Rocks. Out comes Mega Venusaur as he goes for Crunch. Cypher goes for Crunch, gets a defense drop. It's not the Mega. It is the Mega. Obviously, I thought you had to protect turn 1 this league. Obviously not. So, gets the Crunch off with Mega Sharpedo, goes to Psychic Fangs, kills out the Mega Venusaur. Out comes Kieran Black. Goes for the Crunch to get some crit off it. Gets a defense drop as well as he goes for its Z move. Sub-Zero Slammer. Gets a crit back. Mega Sharpedo goes down. And Cypher can just click Aerolace, outspeed it, and kill the Kieran Black. So, there we go. So, Mega Sharpedo, Baby Shark putting the work. Love it. Absolutely amazing. Cypher. I said in the start of the game that if Rocks were there, Cypher's going to have a bad time playing this game. Rocks were there for the entire game. Cypher was in, out every single time. And is still here because of Roost, because of Defog, and all that shenanigans. So, well played by Jack there with the Cypher. Mega Sharpedo did help a lot late game as well to deal with the Mega Venusaur with Psychic Fangs. I've done a similar tech with Broxish as well with Psychic Fangs to wall of Mega Venusaur, and the time I did it, it didn't really pay out. So hopefully, it's a good job that it did work out for Jack this game. So yeah, GG to Jack there. I'm sure Dean will bounce back next week and push for playoffs because I know Dean's a good battler, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't make playoffs. I've cursed you now, so it's okay. Next up, we have the Slowking Doctor again. The Salisbury Slowking versus Nico, the Lord and Saviour, the Messiah, the Phoenix Solrox, as he's brought Genesect, Sand Slash, Tentacruel, Thunderous, Incarnate, Hydreigon, and Gramble. Whereas the Salisbury Slowkings have brought Megalop, Swirlix again, Mew, Klefki, Lantern, and Darkrai. So, pretty much, Slowking Doctor's got a similar tech to what Gareth has usually brought. He's brought Bulk, plus Darkrai, and Megalopony. And Genesect has got quite a good matchup here, to be quite honest. It really does. Depending on what plate he is, drive he is, I see it's yellow. So I'm having a guess it might be the electric one. But I'm not sure. But he's got Sand Slash for Rocks, so Rocks going to be very useful. Obviously he's got Webs again on his Swirlix, so Hydreigon's immune to it, Thunderous is immune to it. Tentacle and Sand Slash get Rapid Spin, so if you can get those away, that would be amazing for Nico there in that game. Obviously, Gramble gets Quick Feet as well, so that could balance out the Quick Feet for the Gramble. And obviously, Genesect gets slow, then pretty much most of the team outspeeds it and just OHKO it. So, jump to this next game and see how this one pans out. Devious Swirlix is going to go for Rain Dance this time. It's going to go for Magic Coat. Good play by Slowking Doctor there to poison that Sand Slash. There's a knockoff. It's Eevee Focus Sash. Okay. Feels the Sticky Webs. There's the Sticky Webs I called because that's what Swirlix does. There's the Rapid Spin. He goes for Wish. There's the Earthquake. Gets a crit. Still does not a lot of damage. There's the Webs again. And Toxic is slowly stacking up against his Tentacle. And Tentacle's immune as well because of Clear Body, which is a very good bring by Nico there, especially for the Webs. Goes for Protect as Lantern goes for Icy Wind. He just wants to slow everything down on this team. Everything needs to be slowed down. There's the Scald, which is 12% to the Hydreigon, gets the burn. If it's a mixed Hydreigon, that is going to be very upsetting late games, especially if you have super power for that Megalopony. Goes for the substitute, and it goes for rest. And yeah, the sleeping lantern on my screen, and a dragon behind the sub. As Hydreigon goes for workup, because that's its best setup option, I do believe, on Hydreigon. As Klefki starts to go for Calm Mind, there goes to Crunch. Does absolutely nothing to Klefki, because it's resisted, and it's +1 burn. So there's the Tentacle back out again, as it goes for the Draining Kiss. There's the Thunder Wave to slide. This man just wants to slow down every single goddamn on his team. So Nico reveals the Whirlpool on the Klefki. As Klefki starts spamming up Calm Minds. There's the Paralysis from the Tentacruel. Gets a double power, which is very unfortunate for Nico there. There's the Draining Kiss, which does absolutely nothing. This Klefki's going to sit here now. There's the Skull, does nothing. Praying for the burn to get some more chip on it as much as he can do. There to protect. As Whirlpool damage gets free from Whirlpool, and knowing that Lantern is now not Warp Absorb, he's Volt Absorb, can play around that late game as well. Knowing that information now, obviously Sand Slash comes out versus the Lantern. Knowing it's asleep, goes for the Rapid Spin to get this webs away. So there's a good chance by Nico there. Lantern wakes up and goes for a Scald. Sacks off the Sand Slash because it's not really required anymore. Out comes Genesect. You can get free switch into Genesect to +1. Gets a Shift Gear off, so it's +2/+2. There's the Volt Switch out. Probably out into Swirlix as it goes for the Ice Beam. Gets the Freeze. And gets instant form and goes for the Wish. Out comes Lantern. As he reveals the Psychic. So he's +2 attack special. Maybe he must have just been Shift Gear to get the speed up. Has to be. There's the Ice Wind to try and slow this man down. As he goes for the Bug Buzz again. Knocks out the Lantern. Reveals the Life Orb, so it's not any of the plates. So Darkrai just comes in and kills with HP Fire. So it's a good job by Slowking Dog there to go the Icy Wind on the Genesect, so Darkrai could just come in, outspeed it, and click in the Power Fire. There's a Dark Pulse on the Thunderous. Goes to Supersonic Sky Strike, a +1. Okos is Darkrai. Out comes Klefki as he goes for the Wild Charge. And slowly, surely, his Thunderous is picking the actual work. Out comes Intimidate Gramble. As he goes to return, still there's a third to Gramble at -1. So this Gramble's a beefy boy. There's the player on the Mew. Out comes the Tentacruel. There's the U-turn out to Mega Lopunny. And Hydreigon comes in, Power Up Punch. Oh, if it lives on 8%, does the burn take it out? No, because of the leftovers. But Nico sacks off the Hydreigon versus the Mega Lopunny. Says Mega Lopunny's now +1 versus Gramble. Switch out to Mew. So he goes for the Play Rough. I mean, surely I don't know. Would a return have killed that thing? Probably. So Mew gets off the Toxic versus the Thunderous. He gets to chip down on the Mew, so I don't know if Gramble can win late game. But Rocks are out, Tentacles here. Mew goes for Soft Boiled, and I think, yeah, now this Mew's on a timer. I think Nico can potentially stall this game out because Gramble beats the Mega Lopunny 1v1 easily. So Tentacle goes for the Whirlpool versus the Lopunny. As he goes to protect to try and whittle it down as much as possible. So Gramble can just come in and clean up late game. Goes for the Power Up Punch. So you can make sure that Gramble can actually do the most against... There's Lopunny can do the most against Gramble late game. Goes to protect. Reveals the return to try and let Whirlpool try and slowly whittle this thing down. Goes for double protect, doesn't get it. There's a return. Tentacle lives. And it's free from Whirlpool as he goes to protect. There's a return. And just trying to go with as much potential as possible. Switches out, which I thought was a very interesting play there by Nico. Because if he had just stayed in and sacked this thing off, Gramble could have done something. Got a free switch here, the Gramble might have won the game. Yeah. Nico said in the chat he lost count of the Whirlpool turns, which is very unfortunate because if he'd stayed in and sacked off that Tentacle, and he could have got a free switch into Gramble, could have eaten the Play Rough, and I mean in the return, neutral or +1 or whatever it was, killed this thing, and Mew probably couldn't have OK'd it because I think he was bulky investment, not invested at all. So, and it was a low health as well, so potentially he could have won there. Or even lost 1-0, but GG to Slowking Doctor after losing 6-0 in the first game in this episode. Bounces back and wins a 2-9 versus Nico, the Messiah. So yeah, that's a GG to both of those. Hopefully Nico can bounce back next week and pick up that W. Move on to the next game where we have the one down under in Elliot and the Michigan being Shawn versus the offshore Oinkers, coached by Ben, and the team, the terrible team that Matt drafted him because Matt is just a terrible team builder and he can't shout at me because he's not here. But he's brought the stupid donkey, the terrible bird, the worse Lati, the worst Lati, the Barbara de Clefable, my boy Coughing, and Rotom Mo. Probably one of my favourite Rotom Mo forms. Is it one of my favourite Rotom forms? I don't know. Freeze and... I think Freeze and Freeze and this are my top two, so I appreciate the Rotom Mo. And obviously Elliot has brought Tapu Lele, Araquanid, Celesteela, Kama'o, Incineroar, and Togedemaru. Now, Keldio's got quite the... No, Keldio's not got the best matchup here. He's got, what? Tapu Lele can wall it, pretty much. Araquanid can kind of wall it as well, because it gets no move per whatsoever, which is why it was tier 5 or tier 4, whatever it was in PIDA Season 1. Celesteela is going to be a massive problem for this team, barring, obviously, Talonflame, Flare Blitz. Might be able to 2-KO it. Might be able to 2-KO it. So yeah, if he's got Flame for a Talonflame, this is Ben, so I wouldn't put past him to bring special Talonflame just to kill the Celesteela. Kama'o just gets, I would say gets kind of walled like the Fable, but it does get Poison Jab. So that's the thing as well. And Coughing, I've got Coughing in UCC, and I really want to see it put at work. I really want to see this man put in work with this Coughing. So let's jump to the game. Leaves with the Tapu Lele versus the Rotom Mo. Bosch is probably going to Volt Switch out, or just go for this straight up Discharge. It's nothing is Tapu Lele. Goes for the Psy Shock, lives on 3% as he goes for Discharge again. Gets the Paralysis, which is very crucial. Gets the full power as he goes for Leaf Storm. And that was a very risky move there by freaking Cooper, turn 1. I mean, first couple of turns. My God. Just to sack off Rotom Mo like that, as he goes for Never Ending Nightmare on the Coughing. There's absolutely zero. Predict him to probably go out into his... Why would he go out into Latias on setting up against the Kama'o? Because he goes for the Charisma on the Coughing to try and stop him Dragon Dancing up. But he's just going to go for the Sludge Wave because it goes to Shadow. Can't run Sludge Bomb because this thing does get bulletproof. Down goes the Kama'o versus the Coughing. The Coughing gets a freaking kill, which is wonderful. There's the Pain Split revealed from the Coughing. Out comes Talonflame taking a probably Heavy Slam, which is resisted. Does do a lot to this thing. Reveals a Stone Edge. Celesteela is now pretty much set up. +2/+1 attack. Heavy Slam on this thing. Doesn't do a lot. Goes for the Hydro Pump. Gets a doesn't even need a crit. Kills this thing dead. Reveals a Stone Edge, so it's a mixed Keldeo. As Elliot sets up his sticky webs, the Araquanid goes down. And out comes Togedemaru. There's a Secret Sword, knocks out Togedemaru. And Incineroar, barring a mighty lands the Hydro Pump, should win this game 5-0. Or doesn't, just go for Secret Sword because that will kill it as well. So, yeah, that was a GG to Ben there. Keldeo, the stupid donkey, actually put it actually work. And Keldeo is a one-trick pony, no pun intended. And it can do that trick really well, but it's easy to prep for because you know what it's going to do every single week. There's no variant. But Ben did bring a mixed one with Stone Edge and whatnot. So, yeah, it's kind of got some niche to it, but not very much, to be quite honest. So, GG to Ben there, picking that 5-0 victory. I think that was it. Yeah, so he won last week, I won this week. So, once again, the Ben Hoodoo of losing first 2 weeks and then winning the rest of the games of the season and winning it all is pretty much how it's going to go, really much. So, yeah, unlucky for Elliot there. If he got the sticky webs up earlier, it might have been different, but I'm sure he'll bounce back next week and pick up that W. So now we move on to our penultimate game of this episode, where we have Shawn and the Chime Gang versus Rattata Men, the bunch of Giga Impacts. And Shawn, inside his team, he has Garchomp, Magearna, Mega Camerupt, Corsola, Necrozma, and Galissapod. Whereas Rattata's got Mega Lucario, Fortress, Moltres, Noivern, Ordino, and Avalog. So Rattata Man's team is pretty much the same as Bidoof's team, but on a more scale, because he's got Mega Lucario and lower tiered Mons, whereas Bidoof's got Kyogre and lower tiered Mons. So he's got Fortress, which is probably going to set up hazards and whatnot. and he's probably going to use his lower tier mons to chip down all of his mons, and then late game, Mega Lucario's just going to come out and sweep. That's probably the plan. But I mean, Magina's not going to. Magina and Necrozma don't really. Yeah, Mega Lucario can't really touch the Magina and the Necrozma really. I know it gets Dark Pulse, but Necrozma is quite bulky, and it's not adaptability boosted. So it's gonna be an interesting game to say the least. So let's just jump in and see how this one goes. So Shawn leads with his Garchomp versus the Forest, reveals the Flamethrower. It's a good bring by Shawn there, as Forest picks up its Toxic Spikes. Builds a Custap Berry to get some double Letters of Hazards up, predicting him to go for Flamethrower again. So both teams have got Hazards up now on both sides of the field. Ordina goes for Surf, which is absolutely zero. Probably predicting him to go out into his Mega Camera up that turn, which he doesn't go for. Magina comes out, Frisky Occa Berry from that Magina to eat up Occa's Fire, is it not? Probably from Moltres. Necrozma comes out and gets poisoned by the Toxic Spikes. It's only regular poison though, so it brings out the Photon Geyser, which Ordina just eats for days. Probably going to goes out into Moltres, taking 50% from rocks. Will it, as Shawn goes for the Morning Sun, so Moltres gets a free switch in pretty much. Out comes Corsola, as he goes for the substitute on his Moltres, to try and chip down his Corsola with the Flamethrowers, because why the heck not? Because Power Gem's going to come in and do the most against his Moltres. So he's going to switch out now. He's going for sub again, as Corsola just goes for a recover, because it's only regular poison can easily just not be stalled out by it. So it's very unfortunate there. He's going to keep powering off the Power Gems as Moltres just keeps going for substitute. I don't understand why. When you're going to keep spamming Power Gem, why don't you just go out into your Mega Lucario? Because I think that quad resists Rock, and you can threaten him out. So I don't understand why. That's what I would have done anyway, but this is me. And I play a weird battling style. So that's what I would have done. I would not try and stall out. You're not going to stall it out because then you're regular poison. So we're just going to repeat the process over and 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 over again. Exactly. He's just trying to... Is he going to just stall out his Power Gems? Is that what the issue is going to be right now? But Power Gems got like stupid high PP. He's got 32. And I mean, pressure is here. So of course, it does feel the Toxic. So if Shawn had Toxic, trying to Toxic it beforehand, might have got something done this quicker. And this is just pretty much stall festing now. Corsola versus Moltres. How is Corsola v Moltres a stall fest? I don't know. But it is. Alchemy Dukai, which you should have done about a few hundred turns ago. So he had to switch out to the Glitterpod. And you get 3 times to set up your Swords Dance. And go for a Thunder Punch. Or Drain Punch. Why did you go for Drain Punch? Against the bugged... Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense now. Don't worry about me, I'm just being an idiot. Reveals the Crunch, knocks out the Necrozma. And his Mega Lucario is going to put in so much work. There's the close combat. And like I said before, just gets a chance to set up into his... gets all these mons to work down the rest of his mons with hazards and whatnot, and go to Mega Lucario and just sweep. And that's just where I was going to go. And you can just get close combat adaptability with Crunch and... what's he got? Crunch, Drain Punch, and close combat. So we got... Yeah, he's got double Fighting Stab and Crunch. So yeah, that's GG to Rattata, man. Like I said before, Mega Lucario is the win con on both this team and the Hot Dog extended with Kyogre. So Mega Lucario, yeah, he's a busted boy. He's a really busted boy. And if he gets the chance to set up with Swords Dance or a Nasty Pot with it, that is GG, my boys. That is GG's. Unless you got something that outspeeds it, that is GG's, my boy. So yeah, Shawn, I think that's Shawn's first loss this season. So I think Gareth is now ahead of him so far this league. So it's going to be a battle between those two. I think in the first division. Is it Masquerain division or is it Slacking division? I think it's Masquerain division that they're in. It's in one of them. But yeah, I'm sure Shawn will bounce back next week and again pick up that W. Move on to our last game now, where we have Devil again with the Jakarta Rattaz with the Victoria Victinis versus CBT Cerasol with the Brampton Bayleafs, and we have Feraligatr, Staraptor, Tyranitar, Sylveon, Latias, and Mega Steelix versus Landorus Furion, Rotom Heat, Roserade, Mega Alakazam, Primeape, and Sableye. Now, Sableye is going to be a massive pain with prankster and shenanigans on it. Mega Alakazam, I think, is the MVP kill leader for Masquerain so far, so that is a major threat. That is a major threat, my guy. Road Rage is amazing because obviously Technician Hidden Powers, base 90 of any move by Fairy you want. And I think you get Dazzling Game as well, so that balances that out. Well, Dazzling Game's 80, isn't it? Doesn't matter. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very close game, but let's jump in and see if see if we can go for it. Out comes Staraptor versus Rotom Heat. U-turns out, probably into Latias, picking the Volt Switch. Does go for out into his Landorus Firion. So U-turns out, because it's super effective, does 42%. Out comes Rotom Heat as he goes for the Ice Beam. There's Recover, as he's probably going to Volt Switch out again, which he does go for. Back out, probably out to Sableye this time. As he goes to Sylveon, goes for Knockoff, knocks off Sylveon's leftovers. Trying to keep the eye on Latias as much as possible. Gets a Toxic from the Rotom Heat. We're getting a lot of Toxic this episode, really are. So there's the Volt Switch out into Landorus Firion. There's the Wish. Tox is going to definitely stall up as he brought Heal Bell this week. Who knows? Reveals the Supersonic Skytrip on his Landorus. Knocks out Steve. And Steve's going to be a major... I don't know if Steve was a... Steve could have been an option if he had Dragon Dance up on it. With Ice Punch and whatnot. But, yeah. Probably got better options to deal with the rest of the team than for Alligator, to be quite honest. Volt Switch is out against the Toronto, which is absolutely 0. Revealed to Pursuit. Did not know that Pursuit affected with Volt Switching like that, so learn something new every day. Revealed the Earthquake on Landorus, knocks out the Tyranitar. Out comes the Mega Steelix, which just eats up that Earthquake for Landorus for days as he goes for Jarble. Doesn't do a lot of damage because it's obviously neutral because it's Flying type. Down goes the Mega Steelix as Raptor goes for Brave Bird. Rotom Heat eating it up. Second off his Rotom Heat. Staraptor lives on, and Sylveon comes out versus Sableye. Goes to Will-O-Wisp. Towers is already poisoned, so he can't really do that. Out comes Rose Raid as he gets a crit Hyper Voice, which is very unfortunate because Latias comes out as he goes to Synthesizers. There's a Sludge Bomb, knocks out the with Life Orb Rose Raid, and Sableye just comes out and just walls the rest of the team, to be quite honest. It really does. And Sableye's going to be a massive problem right now. And so is Rose Raid, because Rose Raid just walls Sylveon, sorry. And, yeah, Toxic's going to start to heal up on this thing, goes to Sludge Bomb, knocks out this thing, and Staraptor's going to come out, live for 4% for rocks, and go to Stabilize, go to Return. I'm guessing it's the only move it can't really touch. Keep going for Return. Probably realising it's choice locked. So he had to click Return, because if he clicked Brave Bird, he would have died. If he clicked Close Combat, Rose Raid and Alakazam are resistant to it, and Sableye immune, so Return was the best option. But that's just how it goes. Going from a 6-0 win to a 5-0 loss, Devil. Oh, Mr. Inconsistency is back. Okay, so that is a wrap for week number 4 of the ABC Weekly Shows. If you have enjoyed, make sure to smash the like button down below. Be subscribed if you're new around here and do enjoy the content. As always, leave any comments about how to improve the series or any specific things I can do. Let me know in the comment section down below. Criticism is always a benefit for me. They'll all go on the wall. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in next week's episode.